go down to where the text was, that's gone. Now you go up to where the orange dot is. If you go to that where that orange dot is, you get that text. And then if you scroll, what does that say? It says click and hold. It's supposed to teach you. So you hit the space bar and it snaps you, and it shows you. It unlocks that orange thing, and then it gives you that text. And then the other one disappears. And then when you go up off screen, if you go all the way up, if you go up off screen, the other text disappears if you go above it or to the left of it. I didn't program it. I get a little lazy. Wesley.
It was really enjoyable, but there's no pressure on the player, and you're actually kind of a dick if you blow up
Technically defenseless.
They don't,
so we don't know
have any
that,
real threat.
Low.
Everyone else has said at this point.
Okay.
Have you considered making the red balls triangular to get that like threatening shape psychology in there?
That would
circular.
That would be good.
Make them spin.
I tried to make them bigger, or I gave them varying size. You can see a couple different sizes. Matt.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say I like the idea that there's no real threat, and the space bar, like the text at the beginning, you were talking about tutorial text. I like your word choice. It says press space to repulse. It doesn't necessarily say anything about actually like kill. Like I think that's just kind of an ingrained video game thing. So I like the idea of like repulse it's not repulse isn't the action, but you're like your word choice like sets a bias. But I will say like if anything, don't add more mechanics. You can just do things to communicate like what you have. You can increase this like even the line, like even though I like the dottiness of it, you could probably do a little thing where you could like tilt the squares to look at every other square to make it look like the squares actually like talk to each other to make a nicer string that might make the visual distraction lesser. It might cook your better as a whole.
Okay. I was hoping to like add drift to them, so they kind of drift apart.
That would work. I like that. That like the stuff like that, like visual things that don't necessarily do anything, but just reinforce the core like mood that you're going for. Is a better path.
Eric.
So if you start over, Jake.
I'm making a story about a guy.
So at the beginning, if you're going for that like little tutorial thing, I would disable the mouse movement until they press space, forcing them to learn that first, and then enable it.
Yeah, if you bring focus at the spot and hit space.
Yeah, and then don't spawn that thing like right on you because I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Yeah, it does look like
very
it's
threatening.
I should have had a better spawn. If I wanted to defend
also,
that.
more feedback on the pulse itself.
Okay.
The repulse.
Okay.
Because right now it's like a very faint kind of circle emitting.
Okay.
But if it was like a blue thing or just more visible, I think that would definitely help.
Yeah, the screen's kind of washing it out a little, to be fair.
It is, but like even when I saw it on your screen.
Pecorino Romano. James.
So, like, you got so like everyone says with like the lines really pretty and shit, and you got like this really like nice serene experience going on with like the music and the line together. Like I haven't done it myself, but James said it feels really nice to control. So instead of having the enemies like damage you in a traditional sense, maybe they just like the music fucks up and like your line gets all like jagged and shit.
Ooh.
So
Alright.
you feel
like the
aggressive,
music.
but they don't actually do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it interferes with the sereneness of the atmosphere up here.
It doesn't fuck you up, it fucks up.
Luca.
Hi. So when I was up there, I tried to do a speed run where you only press spacebar once, and during the time I kind of noticed that the orbs kind of try to follow you, and I think that might be like something interesting you could explore, kind of leading the orbs on, trying to keep them as on the screen as much as possible, and then trying to collect as many as possible and then disappear them.
Okay.
Some sort of like scoring system or something like that might go well with that.
I also think that it might be helpful if the
the enemies had some degree of like swarming to them, that they don't overlap each other, and they
So some kind of separation.
Some sort of flocking algorithm.
A flocking algorithm,
Yeah,
perhaps? I think so.
Sorry. That's what I was gonna say.
Is the game in a closed space or is it a space you
Infinite.
just go on?
It is infinite. The enemies spawn in one cube, so if you go like all the way 10,000 pixels up, they will follow you. They'll get there eventually, but if the game is longer.
I don't know if you go for like put like an Easter egg somewhere like really far in one direction.
Like
very easily.
That's good.
All right. Anybody else I haven't heard from yet? If anybody, I mean, yeah. Sure.
I just wanted to argue against like a literal scoring system because it is an abstract thing. And
Right.
having
I didn't-
just number up there. And like, points. Good job.
I mean, this isn't slimy potato. This isn't. There's no score.
Potato.
We can play slimy potato.
Incredible part of our experience.
Okay.
Just one question because we're gonna wrap it up before I can get the next game on. Drew, is this is this published?
Yeah, this is published. This is at if you look up my itch account, DMATS. You did DMATS95 at itch.io/defense. It's like I got some other funny games out there. They're real funny to me. No one else. Slimy Potato. Slimy Potato is actually on Cap Jams, but I've got like Collab Chasers and other funny games. But free, itch.io, great game hosting page if you've got like kind of finished things. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for roasting my game.
Great. So let's see. Before I move on to the diaries game, did anyone bring a game that they wanted to be roasted before we kind of continue and move on?
Yes, no.
All right. All right. James, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah!
Jake Pierce. Jake Pierce had the same birthday.
Okay.
Matt Rohr. Jake Pierce.
Hey everyone.
Yeah.
There's your game.
So our game is called Diaries of a Spaceport Janitor.
Let's go play the music, I think. Can you
It's
Bradford
playing
playing
the
Bradford.
I got it.
I'm currently posting the game and a feedback form on our Facebook page. And it's going to be up on our TIG source later tonight. Bradford, what link do I use to?
It's a set one.
Hi, I'm Bradford.
Hello, Bradford. I'm on this game.
We're making this with Sunday Month, which is pretty neat.
Independent games, something found a way.
But
Some
some
people in this room.
who also did some other stuff.
They sometimes.
Mostly sitting around crying.
Sorry,
Good
I'm
time.
trying to multitask.
What is the difference between bad and worse graphics? Worse is worse.
Bad is just bad.
This is a test.
So yeah, does someone who has no idea what this game is want to come up and play it?
I played like maybe QA.
Yeah, get a first year.
Are you a first year? Yeah, you're in. What's your name? I'm Aaron. Aaron, what do you
Okay, I just posted on the Facebook page. Please feel free to play along or play it later. There's Windows and Mac version. Someone could even play on my laptop if they feel adventurous.
You want to play those?
Alright, so tear us apart.
Yeah, this is it.
Get it, Aaron.
Is there a match
Oh,
build
you
as
might
well,
want to
James?
check out the README,
Oh yeah, check out the review.
which is right on the desktop
desktop
over
there.
to the left.
You make a Mac build?
Yes.
Nice. The save platform.
You make.
Oh my god, we might have roller skating again this year. A good shot.
Is this newer than 4.6?
This is 4.8,
Oh,
the Swords of
okay.
Delvine edition.
Good.
So I guess we'll try and let the game speak for itself. It's terrifying. Well, yeah.
What's it got so many colors?
Oh my god, colors are way off on this projector.
Slightly. I think it looks better.
Yeah. Why Z fighting?
A little bit of it.
Does that guy make the shadow of frying eggs? Frying eggs.
Which one?
So you guys can definitely shout stuff out at us.
Or Aaron?
Oh yeah, feel free to shout out your
Too much in my face at one time.
Okay, good to hear.
I don't know how I feel about
What?
Just for background, this is not how the game is going to start,
Okay.
but it's pretty close.
Was that Hadouken fruit?
Yes.
I think the UI doesn't really go well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm not sure if that's the finalized version of the UI.
Something about it makes me a little motion sick. It might be the field of view or frame rate, or the speed in which the camera's moving around.
Yeah, the camera seems way too fast.
It's not very
If you have things to say, bring them up.
I love the
I
artwork.
like the artwork. I love the artwork is fire. I like the artwork. It probably is.
Okay.
So, what is it?
Yeah, so you're the janitor, and your job is to keep the spaceport clean with your incineration on.
Try incinerating
Looks
something.
like garbage like that is incinerated.
Aaron, you have to eat some.
Wait, oh shit. Probably runs those side batteries.
Oh, room. Oh, so you have to just incinerate everything.
Yeah, I fucked up when I was making
How do I eat?
I think it's tabs open your
Oh, is that an Easter egg? Yo, is that an
Why is
Easter
there
egg?
a person walking by in like a blue?
Yo, that was an Easter egg. The guy from
Hey.
He's here.
Sabotage.
Fun fact, Sabotage was roasted last year. The first
There's a sabotage.
Did you
Diaries of a Spaceport Janitor.
Yeah.
It's very, the world's very
Where do
big.
we find this? 'Cause I want to find it.
I love the character.
Pick one direction to walk in.
We're on the internet. If you Google,
Walk in just one
or if
direction.
you go to,
What happened?
probably the best place is our TIG source. Also, TIG source is a forum for indie game developers. If you follow Sunday Month's Twitter account, which is just twitter.com/SundayMonth, that's where we post all of our updates.
I like the sound
really
of
cute.
Yeah, they
We'll be putting all the names and ways to find these games on the Facebook page. So if you see something you like or want to give more feedback to, you'll be able to find them.
So the world design is really cool. Yeah, like it looks like there's that's so explore. Like a look at.
No,
Sounds
original
very
music.
What music?
I thought it was like it sounded like The Sims.
There's a similarity in sound effects to The Sims actually. Like the big Englishish.
Yeah.
With and like the.
I think there should be some similar feedback for incineration because it's something you do a lot, right? It's your occupation.
For like visual effect for it.
I think you should be able to incinerate quicker.
Don't eat that.
Quicker than a
Why
bug.
would you want to keep it?
Like it brings up this menu, and since you're incinerating all the time, it feels like maybe you should just be able to instantly incinerate things.
What if it were like a D-pad kind of interaction or like a set of keys that just map to that? Like
There's a reason why we haven't done that, but
Clearly, there's not enough immediate incentive to just incinerate everything.
Some of the stuff that you find on the ground is interesting. They want to keep it.
Okay,
Is there any reason to keep?
Yeah, if you like
Yeah, James.
Why does he walk so much faster?
Also, there are items that you'll need.
guys, you wanted to
Sorry.
Those green areas are like speed boost areas.
Oh,
It's already not integrated well enough.
I actually like that.
I don't know. It's like really jarring when it happens.
Some
I don't
of
have-
them
I
you
don't
can talk
have
to.
it.
None of the ones that are walking around.
You should try to structure the. Ryan. Structure. Structure more.
There's really something about this that's truth in emotion. Don't know what it is. But I
The camera does whip around.
Yeah,
I
we
think,
can't,
like,
but we are gonna redo this texture. So that's something.
Like, we try to have
Get
like
more constructive.
one person.
Alright guys, alright, do one at a time.
Just
So,
because
yeah, so
like,
we're
it's
gonna.
very overwhelming.
So this is actually past the time when we do the demo. So now we're gonna bring it all back in, and we're gonna do the hand raising thing one more time, so we get like clear feedback. I think if you're playing the game though, you can keep playing it if you want. Just like we're just gonna do hand raising and calling.
It's usually pretty clear that you're trying to just create an interesting space for the player to be in and just kind of experience. And I think that the camera really underlines that. It makes it feel a lot less pleasant, which I don't know if you're necessarily wanting to be pleasant, but it makes it it just the speed that it moves moves very sharply, and it clips through the walls a lot, which I understand is a
Yeah.
limitation.
I don't know if I can fix the thing, but I do wanna make it
Absolutely.
Where do I sleep?
back at your apartment, which is where you started.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think especially too because you have like the really cool like glitch stuff going on, which is like I think amazing and really beautiful. But it, you know, that's layered on top of the camera moving so quickly, it's kind of disorienting. And so I think you have to have it really work and just be like so visually on point.
Luca,
Yes,
do you think if I added a dot in the middle of the screen?
absolutely.
Okay.
I may need to leave in a bit. I'll come back.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
it
we need
is
to look
kind of
at it.
pretty bad right now.
You can, on your phone.
Yeah.
Would it possible all that mini map of any sort?
No.
Okay.
Well,
In many ways, it's not
you lost
possible.
it all?
In many ways.
Have you?
Where were you 5 minutes ago when I was
Jake.
I think like right now the character's just centered the entire time, right?
Yeah.
I think if it were like more over the shoulder,
No, it's okay.
if it were like more over the shoulder, or if you had like some sort of camera system that was more like it follows you instead of you're spinning the camera all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be smoother, cleaner.
But there's also the aspect of you walking around in a weird space. You want to be able to direct your eye movement.
True. Very much. Yeah.
I think a possible solution for that would be the camera sort of turns to be behind you when you're moving in different directions. So if you want to look at something, you can sort of turn yourself towards it and look at it, because that'd be a little more fluid.
So the playtester is encountering something I had a problem with when I tested it back in QA labs like a million years ago, which is it's incredibly hard to find your way back home.
Right. So we've done a couple things to mitigate that. So hopefully you'll figure it out. There is going to be an NPC that tells you that if you are lost, you can follow the yellow arrows to get home. So that is the hint that will be.
What?
Oh, that's so.
Maybe that.
Okay.
I understand why.
I don't think it's that. I think it's like kind of fun.
That's not a bug, it's a feature.
All right.
So your incinerator says it's on low battery when it goes to nighttime, but I know like I didn't make that connection immediately, so I just thought that I was incinerating too much and that I like blew it because that low battery was my fault.
Okay.
So saying something like I don't know, you can't incinerate at night, or at least telling that
Solar
battery.
Solar,
Something more obvious. Because if they feel like they lost all their battery power because they're incinerating, they wouldn't want to incinerate ever again.
Right.
Yeah.
maybe also it doesn't deplete as quickly during the day, so people generally have more until the nighttime. Okay, cool.
I do think being able to incinerate a little bit during the night would be a pleasant experience because I actually like it more at night. Like,
Yeah,
the colors are really nice.
Well, that's why the
Yeah, that's
festival is my
pretty
favorite part.
Yeah.
So do you,
It's tomorrow. Actually.
Like in the game or?
Is it tomorrow or the day after? It might be the day
I think
after.
it's the second day.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, it's still Delta Day. I
There's a yellow arrow.
think. Anyone else?
Can you go
There it
into
is.
houses or rooms?
You can go into
Behind
your
you.
house.
That's it.
That's it.
Pointing the direction you were just facing previously.
Oh, there's one.
It's on the ground.
To your right. Hand to
yellow
the
arrow
right.
on the text
Oh,
here.
shit.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah, so your goal in this game is to just incinerate things, right?
For now, yes. In this build, yes.
Yeah, your goal. Yes, your goal is to incinerate the trash on the ground.
It's not just your goal, it's your job.
Your job is to incinerate the trash and get paid.
Oh, wait.
yeah,
There you go.
You found it. I was thinking that the player's movement speed seems completely divorced from their animation. Like the way that the pace that they seem to be going, the animation doesn't seem to match as fast as they move.
Yeah.
And therefore it makes it look like they're just like floating on the ground.
About every time before you leave your house.
There's also a little punch where it's like, oh, pray for good luck.
Yeah.
That-
You there's like a big sword.
Man,
And then you rub the sword, you get how fast
Yeah.
No, you have to.
Yeah, and you got.
No, there's stuff you have to do in the apartment every day before you.
Oh, okay, I remember
Oh, right.
That's a bug.
That's certainly a bug.
Disregard that.
I am gonna fix that.
Go to that thing.
Use your PlayStation 9.
This is. TV.
You did it.
Well, you gotta receive your payments.
I did.
He did already.
Do your luck.
Yeah, I feel like the text
it's hard to
Yes.
also is kind of peeking outside the little translucent box that you draw.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yes.
Does the pray function do anything?
I mean,
Does it
you
help
have to-
you in any way?
It can increase your luck.
Yeah.
Oh, it does
Actually,
look
if
good,
you
doesn't it?
pray for luck at, it's still loading. Just wait for it to respond. Fingers crossed. No, it should go.
Is this a feature, not a bug?
So there's also shrines throughout the city that you
Yeah.
can worship at, and that can increase your luck.
What does the buck do?
That's a great question.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also lottery shrines that give you random items.
The game crashed.
What is the number in the top left corner?
Yeah, the game crashed.
Yeah, that's your money. Cool. I hope that.
The greatest roast of all is for your game to crash.
Good.
Roasted by.
Perfect timing.
This game
Yeah,
roasts itself.
We're basically
15 minutes. Good roast. All right, so what do you guys want to say about that? Like, just roast, literally, this is where the roast begins.
If anyone else wants to
Literally kill me.
Roast the shit out of it.
Yeah, so
One at a time though, man.
yeah,
If anyone wants to play,
this is just like a statement about this section. This is like, since this is like the big game that we had signed up for roasting, keep it orderly, keep it a little focused. Yeah, just being clear about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, you, James, you already know all my feedback on this, so I'm gonna.
You'll raise your hand and I'll call on you and then you can shoot me in the face.
Can you hold that screen for a minute? Yeah.
And
And
Alright, so who wants to, who has something to say?
Eric.
So I've been saying that the top left number showing your money is like, it looks like a virgin number for the game.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of people are confused about that still, and I still think it should be more clear that that's your money.
If you want to make it look more like a money, like what MC stands, or no,
Municipal credits.
municipal credits, you could put like, you could make that like a custom character. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
a
a
symbol.
symbol. And
You can pick
that's
up
like
hats and like wear them. That'd
very
be cool.
universally funny.
Yes.
Your billboard like images, they kind of feel like glitches. So I'm not sure if that was the intention, but it kind of feels like it distracts from the experience.
The billboards. Do you mean like the like?
Yeah, so like the
red and yellow stuff.
Those are all intentional. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still different.
Jacob, again.
Something about the billboards is that like when you see a bunch of them in the distance, they're all synced up together. And so it appears to be much more orderly than I think like the intention is. Like if there a way to like offset the loop somehow.
There very well may not be, but we'll look into it. I'm sure you can offset those little pieces.
Yeah. It's just Z-Fighter.
Just move them a little bit.
We sort of invited a demon into our home to get the Z fighting effect. So
Yeah, if we can control it. Because you just animate.
yes, true.
Going off what Eric said, I wouldn't be really an emotion, but like underneath your municipal credits, like your current state of being.
Yep.
Your feel, if you will, that should be either in its own place or emphasized more. Because I know at night it's like you're tired, and that's the cue for the player, to go back to your house, go to bed.
All right.
To add on to that, if you had actually like something above the player's head that like showed their current state, like in The Sims when they're
like Z's.
Yeah, if
or like that like symbols.
Yeah, I don't know. For like
a
I don't know
burger.
what hunger would really be exactly, but
little burger.
yeah, symbols would be good.
I do video games because I can't do it.
Yes.
So I get that you're a janitor and that's your job and everything, but I still kind of fail to see why I should care.
Good.
Why I'm picking up trash.
Yep.
And then like you're just picking up trash. Is there any sort of progression in this game?
Not in this build, but yes.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
you should address like
the way that I sort of see it is like, if you just play the game and you only pick up trash and nothing happens, then like that's pretty much the whole experience.
that's bad.
Yeah. Like, have you ever played Animal Crossing?
I feel as though there is no consequence for continuing to be hungry. This current playtester has still not eaten food for 3-ish minutes, and he's still trucking along. I know in the README it says that you cannot go to sleep if you're hungry, but that feels kind of empty. Like you have this whole hunger mechanic, and there's nothing really to do other than to satiate it every day once, and then that's kind of it.
Okay.
Maybe if you move
Keep a quest
slower
listed.
or something, or the visual field starts getting cluttered because you're hungry and you can't think straight or something.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't. Well, I'm not, controlling it myself. Just from looking at it, it looks like the controls are sort of in contrast to the kind of feel you're trying to create with the game. Like, it looks like you just in general move too fast through the world, and the camera moves too fast. And the initial thing is that when you bring up the menus, it feels like it breaks the flow of moving around. Like because you have to swap your control scheme from using and moving around with the mouse or from the keyboard to going and using things with the mouse. And I think you'd want to make those more integrated.
Okay.
It plays pretty solid though. Like I feel like I'm not having any trouble like getting where I want to go.
That's so good to hear.
Tell us something you hate about it.
Food's expensive. I don't hate that, but like it's it's what I found.
It's a rough economy. You got to think, export costs.
Food's so expensive in that game.
David.
Do the characters that are walking around walk to a place, or are they on like a loop?
They walk to random places,
And then they
Big
stand
man.
around for a while? Or?
and then they choose another random place. So no.
My favorite part of the game, sorry, is that is like the feeling that you're not a very important part of the world.
Yeah.
So anything that could emphasize that would be better if there were more like congregations of people speaking or people,
If they stop when you're
moving in like
Okay.
a group or something.
Like random events going on.
Cool.
Random
Yeah, we're-
Crowds.
You've alluded to events that happen, festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would like to see that happen.
I really hope the game doesn't crash. But if you like died for a second,
Oh god! Oh no!
Just buying food and burning it immediately. Like, oh, this looks good.
Such an allegory. It's an allegory for current consumer America.
No, it's good. It's a performance. It's a protest.
Don't burn food. Eat it, please.
I want to see people performance art in our game.
One thing that I'll say is really solid is, I know I've read a little bit, you told me a little bit about how you do the raspberry little sides, and I think that is brilliant, and it creates a really good feeling of being lost while also being able to find anything you want, which is good, definitely.
There's just like a lot to look at. It's really like the
Wait, if you
there's,
look
like,
that way,
different
can you-
characters and like environments.
James, we have someone who hasn't given feedback yet.
Yeah.
I think that the main character looks much more humanoid than all the other characters.
Okay.
I think like compared to the townsfolk, the character is boring.
Does that play on the isolated feel? Was that done intentionally, like to make the janitor feel like?
When we were designing the main character, we wanted the janitor to be relatable.
Okay.
But also cute and Tumblrable.
We want people to want to draw fan art of her.
Also, yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I like that
Oh, okay, now I
they
can tell.
seemed like gender neutral, which I
Yeah.
like. Like it seemed like ambiguous, which was really cool.
Right.
So that, yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a road.
There's a
but
bunch of
that's cool.
secret developer documentation.
Your
about her
gender is agromorph.
Yeah, she's an acromorph, which is an alien gender that none of you know about.
As far as you know.
You can turn it
What are
into any
preferred pronouns are?
cereal grain.
I guess.
It can be sorghum.
Almost. Close.
Millet.
You're actually pretty close there, Jay.
That farm one. I got
Okay,
the
so-
secret.
Are there festivals?
Nope.
Maybe if I do
Festival
it.
happens on the day.
Have you raised?
So today's the day.
I have. I love it.
Oh, it says the day.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so one thing I like, I just love the visual aesthetic of the game. I mean, everyone's saying it looks awesome. But one thing I don't like about the forward walking sprite, I think it's like impossible to come up with a cool way of like keeping that 2D like pixelated like art. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a programmer. Sorry.
Yeah.
Art. But
Art, what is it?
the forward walking sprite, I just feel like personally it's just aggravating me just how like when you're walking forward, it's like slightly. Yeah, so like if you have like this shifted walk kind of, I don't know. Like I don't know. I just feel like this
It is a
do something
little
about
I
that.
suppose.
But I don't know. I guess it varies from person to person. But
Hang on, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, so like when I'm like walking around on the ground on the flat ground, I can move the camera kind of wherever I want. But then when I'm on an incline, I don't know if it's intentional or not. I can't like orient the line
Yeah,
axis.
that is intentional.
Okay. Yeah, it was a little weird at first, but it's just,
We have a big staircase that it gives people trouble if they freedom with the camera.
Gotcha.
So,
Trees, damn.
Is that Bev?
yes, that's
That's
bad.
Bev.
Okay.
The many-eyed goddess of luck.
She's got so many eyes,
She's got a lot.
and she keeps growing more. And losing
Maybe a little
people.
thing. Like, where do you put the names of those guys? I know it just because I
The names of the goddesses and a little bit about them are on the items
Yeah.
for them. They each have a fetish that you can collect. So those are like around. Probably the most immediate example of like intrinsic story and like world building in item.
I think we could also stand to put the names of the goddesses on their shrines.
because I'd like to be able to see a shrine and then like if you maybe like gain like I don't know, I'd like to like I see myself being drawn to certain shrines and like coming back every day
Yeah, for
to
sure.
pray.
Well, there are. I don't know if the dialogue's in this version, but we have NPC dialogue that says if you want good luck, pray to Beb first every morning. The general religion is you pray to everyone every day, but who you pray to first determines things depending on what you want.
Which is all very vaguely hinted
Yeah, it's all based on superstition. So
I like it.
so that reaction is exactly what we're looking for.
But yeah, but for things like more identification for that kind of stuff.
Do you actively talk to people, or do people just react to you when you go within a certain radius?
You actively talk to only people there are people who are standing still who have stuff over their heads that you can talk to, like the shopkeepers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to ask something like that. Do you have any more plans for like NPCs?
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, there's a bunch of NPCs that you can talk to.
Yeah.
None of them are in this version.
Most of the ones that aren't in this version because this version doesn't have any storyline in it, and there's a lot of NPCs that you can use to progress the story.
We took the storyline out for the.
Is there the eyes or the place?
You can't go into the dungeons.
Really? Yeah.
Y'all should play the game when it's done.
I was trying not to say it.
Yeah, we decided that since we're putting this out online, there's some cards that we're gonna hang on to. But I'll tell all of you. Basically, there's you can buy Eyes of Beb, which when you eat them, they're psychedelic and the colors go ultra beat and it goes into first person. And it's a prerequisite to eat one of those every time you want to go underground. So there's a dungeon area where you find some stuff.
Yeah. I think it'd be interesting, like, if along with having the ability to interact with like every piece of trash on the ground, you could also like you were given the opportunity or the ability to interact with everyone, but like most of the time they just like walk away. They don't interact with you. Just like you have the ability, or like it offers you like some sort of form of interaction.
Right.
And like I don't know if you want to deal with scope issues of like having rudimentary AI different types of people and stuff.
Yeah, a really easy way to do that is maybe you could go, hey. Like just you. It's like
And like when you press on them, it just plays their sound.
Yeah, I think that would definitely enforce the whole like you're alone, nobody wants to talk to you.
Because I mean you're just a janitor.
I like being able to like see the
people
videos like before you actually interact with them. You can see like what they look like.
It'd be taken as
You get paid.
swan song for service.
really
work.
cool.
Yeah,
sleep before you get paid.
I'm gonna write that down.
Hey, this
How you doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so this roast is pretty much.
It's pretty it's one session. So a few more comments, and then we're going
Today's
down.
that. Matt.
Hi. What inspired this game?
What did it? I remember what inspired this game. We made Sabotage, and then we sat down in your room and said Sabotage was good, but we need to make something weird. What can we make that's weird? And we just pitched like weird shit to each other for an hour and a half.
So my sister came back from this trip. The festival day is more laggy.
Yeah.
And also you can stay out as late as you want on festival nights. Yeah, so my sister came home from Morocco, and she was like, yeah, I got lost when I flew into Marrakesh. And she was like wandering around in the marketplace in Marrakesh, and she couldn't find anyone. But being my sister, she's really competent, and she found her way to some other tourists. But I was like, what is that feeling of being lost in this foreign place?
Where no one gives a shit about you. And you have no idea what anyone's saying.
Yeah.
Is he like tapping his foot to the music?
Of course.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, these characters too.
It's like, yeah, we love the characters.
Just a technical thing. I
Yeah.
think that there should be some sort of transition, more of a transition when you're going into the apartment. Maybe if it's something simple as just like a fade out and like a door opening sound effect.
Okay.
Just because it seems a little too.
We have those. We have door opening sound effects that we're not using right now.
Oh, I can put this in there. Jeez. Oh, right. I totally forgot about that.
You have a gun?
Thank you, Devin.
Yeah,
That's the Easter egg.
It's
character.
yeah, those guys are kind of they're police, but no one really knows where they came from or what laws they're upholding, and they're
They're
sort of
police.
settled by them.
So it's like
They're also an Easter egg.
Yeah, you might.
I just
I like it.
well see like
Well,
I know you pulled the art from like another game that you did, but like I like that they're just like there and they're like I love how they're super intimidating and you don't really feel safe.
That's a lie. I would do that.
This guy brought
I just like that you don't feel safe.
Yes, you.
So I like the visual like so much that I feel like the density of the people in like the city should be improved dramatically to make it feel more lively.
Yes.
I also think that to whatever technical restrictions you have. I also think that picking up the trash, it shouldn't be like everything stops for a second and you gotta like look at the item. I feel like it should be kind of like how when you're kind of trying to buy an item, instead it should be like that kind of interface where like it shows like the item title and like a hovering kind of bar kind of thing, and then it has like the item itself, and if the item has like to wait there for a couple seconds with a timer that shows on the screen. I think that would make things look. It would be less kind of like jarring going from one page to another.
But also, our testers also have a habit of like getting really good at picking things up and incinerating them very quickly.
Yeah.
Which is.
I also think that in a future build, you should have multiple types of trash, like you said before. But like for things like spills, you should like mop them up instead.
Yeah.
Right. So we gotta move on. So one more game, and then we'll just wind down the evening with like. I want to get time to talk about certain stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks so much, everyone. Jeez.
Where's that game available? On our Facebook page.
Yeah. Read up bear.
And I believe they're in Kicksource.
Oh my God, it's bear. All right, so let's bring this up. Yeah. So if you actually want to know your stuff, you can do that now while we set up.
I know.
Yeah, if you want to talk about it. Anyway, because like I'm interested in like getting this kind of out. If you're interested.
Okay. Yes. So. Yes.
Yeah.
Would you?
Okay. I'll do my thing. I'll do my thing in a minute.
Second pass on the UI is because James is doing.
If anyone has more feedback for us, we have a feedback form that I post on the Facebook. Also, please come up to me or Bradford if you have any questions.
Thanks. I'm dead now. Thank you for telling me.
GG.
No
GG.
No
rape.
No read.
GG. Read?
This game has no replay value. Is what we're saying.
I hope not. I hope that's not true.
I don't know, man. I think you need to like sell like a season pass.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. We have episodic DLC.
Does my
Don't be concerned with that. We're going to be making plenty of money off of this.
You were right about that. I was like,
$20.
We're all proud of you, man.
It's hard to pay to win, like, you know, get all the best trash, you know, pay like.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna on
the diamond sword trash pack.
After we release the blog, is gonna turn into a microtransaction platform where you can buy music things, use friends with real money.
Trash.
Spend items in games,
Yeah.
items and weapons and NPCs.
Weapon DLC.
Ideally.
Can we turn off all the lights?
No. It's a project he's
I'm pretty sure they're doing
No, you can't turn off all the lights.
Like, just go to the registry and be like, this is
off on all of them on there.
But you can, it just you can.
Does anyone know how to turn off the lights on this room?
Right now?
Not my fault.
Oh no! Who's this?
Right here.
Okay,
Excuse me.
Oh well.
I've accidentally given Scott permission to steal your notebook.
It seems like there used to be stuff here, but sorry. All right, I'll just go. Appreciate it.
Electrical outlet in the middle of the
Okay.
So what is this game?
So yeah, before I start anything, this is something I've been working on visually for about a year, and I just started working on it legitimately about a week or so. So I'm picking it up. It's a weird thing. It's not necessarily a game, but it is interactive, and it has things in it.
Wants to play it?
Yes, you can. So Wesley, you're just gonna use the arrow keys and the space bar.
Arrow keys and space bar. All right, going in blind. All right.
Al sent me an email about
Am I gonna die? Yes.
Matt, how are you doing the sound? Careful. Is this programmatic?
Yes.
This is
So, this is a very early prototype of 10 hours of natural sleep. It's a game interactive thing about working with sculptures broadcasted over the radio. It's not finished yet, but what you're gonna have here is you can actually select a radio station. So you're gonna have the entire FM radio to choose from, and you can actually scrub through this radio signals broadcast in this world. And you're gonna exchange messages. You'll get shapes. This shape is being broadcast over the 102.3 FM frequency. So this shape is coming in. And as you kind of rotate the world, you're actually going to be changing the clock, and time kind of moves as you explore this space. It's going to be like an exploration game, where you're just kind of, I don't know, you're exploring like whatever this is at the moment. I'm refraining from saying a lot of things, but yes, I don't know exactly what I wanted to get feedback on now, other than like conceptually, what it looks like, what you're seeing here, and kind of like that direction. So
I'm afraid.
Yeah, like, dude, I don't know what the heck's going on, but this is like really freaking me out right now.
I'm very scared.
It's reminding me a lot of late game Fez stuff meets Memories of a Broken Dimension, which I'm really digging. And I feel as though the colors add a lot. I just don't like get what's going on with the colors.
I think it needs to be more glitched.
Okay, so about that, I will respond to that recent feedback. This radio frequency is directly correlated to how clear this image is. So each image is on like a wavelength, and so based on how tuned into that you are, it'll become more or less glitched. So this isn't perfect, but you'll never be able to get it 100% clear. But like at one point, it'll just be fucked up, and like sound will be like shrieking. Yeah.
Really already. Have you ever considered having the time correlate like in real time? So have it be like 10, like exist in time for up to 10 hours?
That is a good idea. I like that. Yeah.
I like the glitch effects. I feel that having them be constant is kind of exhausting. It can be more pronounced, but having them constantly going on is a little weary.
That brings up a cool thing. There's a strong audio component that doesn't exist right now. He's talking about audio corresponding to the glitching and this. In the full thing I'm working, I'll show you some sound in a bit because to get feedback on that. All the sound is kind of programmatic, and it's very good to be tight. If anyone wants to like play around with this sculpture thing,
Matt, there's a scene in this.
Yeah, this isn't programmatic. Yeah, this is just a demo. What it's going to be. Every single view is going to have its own tones and sounds and kind of personality. So this one shape, every perspective of the shape has its own personality, and and it's going to correspond. Yeah.
I feel like weird not messages are gonna pop up at some point. Like I'll be show my parents or something like that. So it's like, is that gonna happen? He's not gonna be check for third rock and walk home.
I wanted to kind of expand on the real time thing, because this would totally be a game that I would play at 2 in the morning and then have some crazy secret messages pop up. So I think the secret messages that you can find throughout certain stories would be really awesome.
So I love what's going on right now. Like this is just really freaky and really awesome. But I would really like if there's like some kind of sense of progression, like that you're getting towards something you want.
I was gonna ask, can you progress?
Yeah. So
Is it all
anti-puzzle? It's not. It's like everything that should be game-like. I'm going against that because fuck a lot of ideas that are just like ingrained in games. But this bar at the bottom, it's oscillating. That's a progress bar, and progress is basically just how much you care or like interest. And so like progression is all about like moving through and like ripping this thing apart. So I want to just progress. Matt, I need to show you something. Okay.
It's called So Cool.
Okay, we'll talk.
It's so cool.
I feel like it is a playable teaser for the next like Alien movie, but on the VHS.
Cool. Yeah, here's a question. Who thinks this is fucking disgusting to look at? Does it hurt?
A little bit.
It's
for a while.
I love it.
Yeah. I hate it so much and I love it.
So the one thing that I don't love about the graphics, I love everything else, is that you can tell that the glitching is happening on rectangles in the screen. If it aligns to the shape of the sculpture, I would love that.
Oh, okay.
It has to be subtle, I think. All right. So yeah, now that you pointed out, it's already obvious.
I know this is the roast, but the RGB split looks so fucking good.
So real time. Are you talking about the block glitches?
I mean,
okay. So you want it to be more so based on the sculpture itself.
I don't know if you're going for this is your CRT device and it is glitching, not the radio waves are.
Yeah, I haven't made a decision quite way of that, but I do agree. Wesley.
I'd like there to be more interaction with this spacebar. It comes back on its own, and it goes away entirely. I can't like put part of it away and get part of it back. I would like it to be, or make it come back different in some way. I just want to change things more than I can currently when I play it.
The spacebar mechanic does. I'm calling it breathing.
Maybe if you could like hold it down to breathe and like
it reaches zero and you let go and I like that. Just to be clear, every sculpture is different and every sculpture breathes differently. So each breath won't actually act like that. So while I do like this one for a single press, for other ones I like the idea of like holding or breathing differently. I do like that a lot. That's fine. So actually I already have one sculpture that the breath is different every time, and the breath actually permanently changes the sculpture each time as you breathe. So I already have that kind of, but I like that. So more interaction, different breaths. Yeah.
In this build, are there anything hidden?
There was a permanent glance at ourselves.
I mean, we've just been watching the same thing, turn around. Go in and go.
Right now,
I'm pretty engaged.
It's killing me.
Yeah, right now, this is this. This is what you're seeing is what it is right now. Yeah.
I do think for pacing, you should be able to, like you said, tune in to like get rid of the effects and like kind of calm it down.
One thing, as you change perspective, sometimes it will get real fucked up, and you're gonna have to change your station.
I do think I like the idea of like once you get to a place where you don't feel this this unease that I'm feeling right now.
Okay.
Like you might want to be, they might feel reluctant.
I'm gonna stop and play audio in a sec, and that may work for you, Ryan.
Oh shit! Is he
So
the tapper?
You hold your space down, bar down for 10 hours, and you win the game. You open up.
Only way to win the game.
You
Hold
wake
space for
up out
10
of your
hours.
coma.
I like it.
I never saw animal space.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like
like doing these certain stations and you're like really weird like block of speech. Like if I went to some random station and like you were just gonna hear like a block of like a speech from Reagan or something like that.
Yeah.
Like something weird, like it would just get like weird like pop-ups and speech and stuff.
Not like as you scan through, you have like maybe even known like weird.
Yeah, I'm actually. Can we turn this off for a second and then play? I'm downloading some audio files. David.
So there's this idea that most video games it's really easy to make look really dumb. Usually by like jumping into a scene or like messing with the animation or something.
Yeah.
And or like crouching over and over and or throwing money on the ground.
Yeah.
And once you make a game look dumb, you feel like you're better than the game, right? And so this game is like right now impossible to make look dumb, I think. And so that's part of to me it seems like that's part of the unease that comes with it, is that you feel like the game is smarter than you. Because you just move it around, you just like send it away and bring it back. So like it could depend on the shape, but I was just thinking like, okay, if you could hold breathe to make it go away and then like let go and it would come back a little bit and then that would make it look dumb immediately, because you could just like blah 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 blah, You're like, oh okay, now it's a video game.
Do you think there's a point where it could assert too much of that like smarter than you attitude?
Yeah, I mean it's like up to you for what you want the game to be. So I don't know if that's what you want, but I think that's what comes, like you're intrigued by things that you perceive as being smart or like mysterious, and so that's kind of.
I'll take two more things and then I'm going to show some audio and then we'll wrap up with a message. So yeah.
So one thing I'd say is that when you first boot it up and you start playing it, it's just immediately ominous and uncomfortable, which is good. But I think something to pay very close attention to is just the pacing of that. That if it's ominous and uncomfortable and unsettling the entire time, it's just going to be very wearying, and it'll be unpleasant to like, not in the way you want. I think there needs to be some degree of things becoming more and less frightening.
I want to hear what you think of some of the audio, because the audio has I'm going to show like 4 short little tests, and that has some of the emotional range that we're going to be exploring. So, yeah.
To bounce off some stuff that David said, thinking about impermanence again, because we're talking about a concept of impermanence in one of the sculptures, because it changes permanently every time and it's never the same. And that kind of thing makes players feel uncomfortable, because players want to be able to go back to their stuff. Players like level selects. That's like the antithesis of that entire thing. And on the subject of whether or not you can make a game feel too smart for people to play, I think it's really a binary thing. Like, is there a downside to a game that just is inassailably smart? If you like turn things around, it always does things in a certain time frame, so you can't make it look dumb. Is there a downside?
I guess the risk is that you'd be called pretentious, but it's art, so who cares?
Lose interaction with it in a way that gives me more things that I find interesting to do.
Yeah.
That's my kind of.
All right. So yeah, so I have written down so far real time like stuff, like so it's hooked up to the actual clock, glitch based on like the actual sculpture form, different types of breathing, and just some pacing stuff. So that's kind of the thing I'm getting from this. So I'm gonna play a few tracks, get like just the general sense of where we're going. And I think that's
this stuff that you've done.
This is done, but this is all custom. This is done by a composer I work with, Jackie. He's like the son name on composer and best friend. He does amazing sound work on all.
He also did some music for Diaries.
Yeah,
he did the sound design.
He did the sound design for Diaries and music that we didn't hear. No, we did hear it.
So this is the first track, which is like, it's a bit fast, but it's generally what the radio could sound like if you're quickly scrubbing through it. But not exactly. It'll probably be a little less clear, like actually a lot less clear.
The little tiny snippets of music reminds me a lot of like the tunes at the beginnings of number stations. I'm assuming you're going for that.
Yeah.
So if you are, you're hidden there.
Yeah. We're also number stations are these weird, mysterious broadcasts that no one knows where they come from, and they're just people saying numbers and little government stuff.
One of them, if it ends, it will end the world. UVB 76.
Dude, they're all creepy as fuck. Radio is a scary place. I think Peter's there.
Was this the one we heard in the bill?
No. This one's very cavernous.
So that's like the little face.
You get the satanic demon shit out of my face. It's freaking me out.
This is the
That
one.
letter is right with God.
Yeah, this is the one we heard in the middle. So I won't play this one. And this is the other end. This is the next one is the other end of the emotional spectrum that we are going to be going through.
Oh, I like that.
This is like Twilight. I think if I played this game, like I would be trying to get to this. Yeah. Here. It's like.
As a fan of experimental game theory, like most vectors, so none of it's really created knowledge, which I'm not sure is your
This is very much like the Twilight Realm and Twilight Princess.
Yes.
Zelda games.
Yeah.
It's almost
Very
identical to that.
Okay, cool.
Which I liked.
I definitely think this is a good way to get that, like what you're saying, pacing and emotional range. I think that this kind of music is a good offset to what we had before, because it keeps the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Still even less sensitive.
While the world is seemingly like fucked and like unattainable, it is respectful in the way that it applies by the same logical principles consistently.
Yep.
So it is like a thing. So yeah. So that is I'll take a few more comments and then we'll just wrap it up, I guess, really.
Are you hoping to, like, since you can't really see the world itself, are you hoping to, in the radio stations, maybe you happen to find a station that a news anchor or something is talking about something that happened? Are you hoping to kind of do it that to explain?
Maybe nothing so literal like that, but a lot of influence. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
I think for the radio station soundbite they use, like the first one we listened to with the music clips and the voice clips, I think we should cut down the music ones a little bit and then add more like speech ones.
But I think they should be consistent, maybe like timeline wise. I don't know, maybe. Because if you're taking them from all different like eras,
yeah,
it might not feel consistent.
Images can also be received over your radio, because that's a thing.
Good. I was just gonna say that the scrubbing through sound did feel like consistent time-wise to me. So is there a time period you have in mind, or is it kind of an abstract time period?
You're asking a lot of the questions that I like that you're asking.
Fallout span.
That's what I will be saying.
Nice.
All right. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you. This was very helpful. Right. So that concludes the roasting portion of our event. But we have a special guest here. Yeah. So we had some poets visit our school, and they did a reading out there. But there's also some just cool things about this person here. So, well, Sunny Month is a little collective that I run here with James and Ryan, and Eric's there. We have a bunch of people like Bradford's in that. We do games and we publish stuff and we like do like just weird art stuff and we want to like build a community here. But there's also like that kind of thing going on in other worlds around everywhere. So that's kind of what Allie's here to say. So this is Allie.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Allie. Yeah, so I'm a recent graduate from art school, so I have a BFA in photography, but I'm also a poet, and I'm into video games too. And so me and a really good friend of mine, who I met actually over the internet, and then they ended up coming live with me, we started what we call a publishing press. It's called Glowworm Press, but it's like GLO, if you want to look it up. We're most active on Twitter right now. We have a website too. And we've only published one thing so far. It's in its infancy. It's a chapbook of poetry and an audiobook that we did. But our goal for it is to be kind of a digital archive of what we're calling digital artifacts. So we're also going to be publishing games, music. We're thinking about zip files of images and videos, just really any digital artifacts, new media. Yeah, so it's.
Do you have the website you could bring up? So
Oh yeah. It's really beautiful. Yeah, my co-editor makes games and music, and they also program. So they did the website. Yeah, so this is our website. And this worm.
I like that
And
one.
every time you click the worm changes colors, which is fun. Yeah, that's really pretty cool. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah. Yeah. It goes around. That's the coolest thing about us so far. It's the worm on our page. Yeah, and we're working on a few other projects right now. We have one project, and it's actually kind of, I think, functions similarly to a game, sort of, where it's inspired by a DVD menu player, and it's kind of a click through of videos and poetry and still photography. And so it's like you go through this little digital space, and it's like a downloadable package, and it should be out in the next few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You should keep us updated on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you go to the website, we have like a button for Twitter, which is we have like all of our news and stuff. And we make really great tweets too. So.
Well, what's the handle?
Just at Glowworm Press. Yeah.
Hashtag great tweets.
I followed you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're fun. Yeah, we
Wait, does Sunday Month already follow?
I think I might have already made Sunday Month.
Yeah.
We need that on
Yeah. Any questions? I don't know. It's like
yeah, you can just come and talk. Yeah, I'd love to hear.
What kind of like reach do you have in terms of physical publishing? Like, how does that work? What can you put out?
Oh, we can put out we have a lot of ideas. We want to put out tapes, like physical, like print tapes, CDs. We're thinking about getting a ton of VHSs and recording any video work we publish onto VHSs because we're really interested in like having it be like a library, but conversely, like the opposite side of like digital archiving is having physical objects, which I'm more interested. So my co-editor I think is more interested in like the digital stuff. But we have access to small publishing press who do print on demand, printing out books and stuff. I don't know. I wonder if there's a way to do that with games, independently too. Maybe you guys know.
I was gonna add to your list of stuff. Could you consider vinyl for all the vinyl collectors out there? I think a locked groove record of just weird poetry would be pretty awesome.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Every time you put the needle on it, it's a different poem.
That would be really cool.
Wow.
Good idea, Luca.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just lock every groove.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for coming to the first roast.
This is super cool.
Yeah,
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe hyper.
Who's fun?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.